Call a shape that's made of many shapes. And how would you find the area of that shape? In this video, we're going to learn how to calculate the area of such shapes known as compound figures. Compound figures are made by joining multiple shapes together, like this shape, for example, or this one, or this one. Let's start with a quick review of the area formulas for some common shapes. The area of a rectangle can be found by multiplying its base length by its height. The area of a triangle is 1/2 of its base length times its height, since a triangle can be viewed as half of a rectangle. And the area of a circle is pi times its radius squared, where pi can be simplified to 3.14. All right, now let's use these formulas to work through some examples. For our first example, we have a shape that looks like it's made up of a couple of rectangles, and we want to find the total area taken up by the shape. Let's start by making a copy of the shape and cutting it into pieces. One way to do this is to split the shape up right here. We can see that the small rectangle has a base length of 3 centimeters and a height of 4 centimeters, and the large rectangle has a base length of 8 centimeters and a height of 7 centimeters. Let's find the areas of each rectangle and add them together to find the total area. Remember, the area of a rectangle is the base length times the height. So for the small rectangle, we have 3 times 4, or 12 square centimeters. And for the larger rectangle, we have 8 times 7, or 56 square centimeters. Now, to find the total area, we add these two separate areas together. 12 plus 56 is 68. Therefore, the area of this compound figure is 68 square centimeters. Nice work. Let's try another one. Again, we want to find the total area of the shape that looks a lot like a chat bubble. Let's split this one into a rectangle and a triangle. Of course, our rectangle still has a base length of 14 millimeters and a height of 5 millimeters. Our triangle has a height of 4 millimeters, but what's its base length? Well, as we can see from our original diagram, the lengths of the two sections neighboring the triangle are 3 millimeters and 7 millimeters respectively. Our entire base length is 14 millimeters. Therefore, the missing length, 3 and 7, must add to make a total of 14. 3 plus 7 is 10. Therefore, the missing length, or the length of the triangle's base, must be 4 millimeters. Now, we can find the area of the triangle by multiplying 1/2 times the base times the height, or 1/2 times 4 times 4. Simplifying, we find that the triangle has an area of 8 square millimeters. What about the rectangle? We'll multiply the base and the height, 14 and 5, to find that the area is 70 square millimeters. Finally, we can find the total area of the chat bubble. 70 plus 8 is 78. Therefore, the total area is 78 square millimeters. Great, let's do one more. This time we have a more complex shape with a circular edge. Once again, we are looking for the total area taken up by the shape. Let's make a copy and start dissecting it. We'll cut off the semicircle from the top and the triangle from the side. The large rectangle has a base length of 10 feet and a height of 6 feet. We also know that the triangle has a base length of 3 feet, but we're missing the height of the triangle. From the original diagram, we know the short section above the triangle is 1 foot in height. As the height of the rectangle overall is 6 feet, our triangle must be 5 feet tall. Now, let's talk about the semicircle. We're going to need its radius to find its area. We'll start by finding the diameter. We know the neighboring sections have lengths of 3 feet and 1 foot respectively, and the total base length of the rectangle is 10 feet. So the diameter of the semicircle, which is our missing length, must be 6 feet, as 3 plus 6 plus 1 equals 10. That means the radius of the semicircle is 3 feet, since the radius is half the length of the diameter. Now that we have identified all the measurements in the drawing, we can find the areas of the 3 separate shapes. The rectangle has an area of 10 times 6, or 60 square feet. The triangle has an area of 1/2 times 3 times 5, or 7.5 square feet. And onto the semicircle, which is simply half of a circle. To find the area of half a circle, we will multiply 1/2 by pi and the radius squared. So we have 1/2 times pi times 3 squared. And substituting 3.14 for pi, we find that the area is approximately 14.13 square feet. Now, to find the total area, let's add all these areas together. We have 60 plus 7.5 plus 14.13 equals 81.63. So our total area is approximately 81.63 square feet. Great work. That's it for now. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep excelling.